Right, hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV. Happy bonfire night. So if you hear a bunch of banging noises and a bunch of explosions during this video, it's because I am on fire. Nah, it's not even that, it's because it's bonfire night, it's because there's fireworks going off all the time. Happy bonfire night, I hope you have a lovely night. Whether you're outside doing fireworks and shit, or you're inside like me, I'm sure you're not doing a video about Liverpool because a lot of people who are watching this won't be YouTubers, but just have a good night, basically. Anyway, welcome back to the Redmond Roundup. Welcome back to another episode. It's not one of them short episodes. We've got news. We've got a debate. We've got your comments, more importantly. I haven't made one of these for a while, mate. I'm excited. I love this show. It's my favourite show to do on the channel. Probably besides an instant match reaction when we win. That's probably my favourite. But before we do get into any of the news, updates and all that malarkey, shout out to the 3 most recent subscribers who have joined the Redmond army. Absolute legends. And shout out to every one of you who clicked subscribe and got me to 15,000 subscribers. Absolutely insane. And before I get into any news, and let me just get out of video mode for a sec. Just thank you so much. Thank you so much. It really does mean the world that a lot of you see my vision, and the fact that 15,000 of you do is mad. I didn't think a lot of people was going to warm to me on YouTube. I didn't. And it weren't because of my opinion. I know that, I know a thing or two about football, but I understand that, maybe sometimes I can be a bit over the top, or I can, be a bit too exact. And people can take that one way or another, do you know what I mean? And yous have took it brilliantly, so I just really do want to thank every single one of yous. And up the Redmond's army. And before I start crying, just thank you so much, because yous are boss. Anyway, let's get into the fucking news, because that is what we do best. That's what we do here on the Redmond Roundup. First off, and we have got some good news. We've got some interesting news. We've got some transfer news. But first off, I want to go back to a former player in John Flanagan. Now, I don't know if you know, but John Flanagan, he hasn't had the easiest of careers since leaving Liverpool. In fact, if some people might not know who John Flanagan is, that'll be more of the younger audience. But a lot of people, if you're my age, you should know who John Flanagan is, obviously. Obviously, he used to play for Liverpool. Had his prime season in about 13-14 with Brendan Rodgers. Actually looked really fucking good. Then had a few injuries. Just life didn't go well for him. Then I think he went out on loan. Then he joined Rangers permanently, worked under Steven Gerrard, and he was just was released. In fact, was it? Yeah, he was released by the club just this summer gone, and he's just joined a new club in Belgium. Funnily enough, the Belgium Leeds, this is what it's reported. Charleroi, I'm not sure who Charleroi is, never heard of them before. Don't sound like Genk, don't sound like, but he's joined them. So fair play to John Flanagan, and let's hope he can pick up his career from there. Anyway, into some proper news, current news in a current situation. Fabinho! Now, it's not an injury update, as a lot of you would be expecting. If I had to give a timeline of when I think he's going to come back, I reckon about Leicester, after the international break. That's our first game back. I think he'll be back for that game, which is fantastic. But this is what the good news is. He wants, or there is reports suggesting that Fabinho is in talks with Liverpool to sign a new contract, a contract extension. That's absolutely fantastic. Fabrizio Romano is the one reporting this, and he's even mentioned stuff like that. Fabinho turned down an offer from a Spanish club last summer. Now, that club was not disclosed, but just the fact, he was basically just building up that Fabinho loves it at Liverpool. He really sees the vision and he feels a part of that vision, and that's fantastic, mate. I'm glad that Fabinho feels at home at Liverpool, because it would be a shame for a player of his quality to have wanted to go elsewhere after what was such a short time. That summer, obviously he just joined in 2018. Last summer, someone came in for him. The fact that he stayed is brilliant. The fact that we're looking to sign him on a new contract is fantastic. I really hope we get that over the line. And some good news there for the Redmond's army, for Liverpool fans watching this video. Let me know what you think about Fabinho signing a new contract. Surely you've got to be happy, because that's just good news. Diogo Jota, the man on fire, the man who is the topic of the club at the moment. I think it's safe to say. So many people are talking about Jota and Firmino and stuff. And by the way, I'm going to be doing my Man City lineup prediction tomorrow morning, so make sure you're on the channel for that. And that will obviously disclose who I think will start out of Jota and out of Firmino. If you haven't saw my latest video comparing the situation between the two players, then make sure you do. I was basically just trying to give Firmino a case, because I feel like so many people are disrespecting him. So go and check that out if you haven't already. But Jota has came out thanking Jordan Henderson. Now, basically, this is the quote that he had to say, and it's just basically attributed to his belter start that he's had at the club. Because even Salah, Mane, I said to him in my last video, none of them have had a fiery start like what Jota has, and they have fantastic starts at the career, so it's got to be attributed to something. And he was thanking Hendo in one of his most recent interviews, saying this: I have to mention Jordan Henderson. Even before I arrived my first training session, he already texted me saying that he will be there for me, saying welcome. It was a big thing for me as I was not expecting it, and I just wanted to thank Jordan for that. And do you know what, mate? That's fantastic for many, many reasons. One, Diogo would have felt the warmth and love coming into the club, and not only that, Jordan Henderson just shows more and more why he's important to this club. He's not only good on the pitch, and people, when they talk about his football and ability, they compare him to Steven Gerrard, one of the greatest midfielders, arguably the greatest midfielder the Premier League has ever seen. In my opinion, the greatest Premier League midfielder anyone has ever seen, but people have to decide that for themselves. But what they don't really do is compare the attributes that Henderson has probably better than Gerrard, because Gerrard, I mean, obviously we didn't have WhatsApp and shit back then, but it's like Gerrard probably wouldn't have been WhatsApp and people saying welcome to the club and shit. You would have got there, you would have gone in training, and it was what it was. You get stuck in and he will lead you through your football. Jordan Henderson, he's making people feel happier at Liverpool, and as we know, and I think we all feel this in our jobs, when we're happier, we can do our job to a better level. That's just what it's like with our players. That's how it comes across. And if Jordan Henderson is a big reason for that, then that's huge. That's huge that our captain, Liverpool fans, is doing that. That's massive, mate. But anyway, moving into some transfer news, because obviously I know that's what you're all here for. The transfer news is the most exciting thing. It's been a quick season. It's been a short season, more importantly. So there's so much to get through. Obviously, I've done a video the other day on Haaland. There's reports coming out that the Salzburg CEO or the Salzburg sports director could see Haaland joining Liverpool in the foreseeable future. There was other reports linking him to the club. Now the Dortmund CEO has came out and he has spoke on the reports and the rumours of not only him joining Liverpool but other clubs as well. This is what he said: there's no such agreement, and it's not about that. It's about convincing the player about the club and our plans. We have a clear wish for Haaland to stay with us, and we want to convince him convince him and his agent to do so. I'm confident on that front. I think Erling feels at home with Borussia Dortmund. He feels he has definitely made the right choice last winter to join us. To take another step so soon, I'd consider that the wrong decision for him personally. Makes so many good points there, and I'm sorry that I didn't read that fantastically. This is why I can't believe 15,000 of you have subscribed. But anyway, no, listen, mate, so many things to pick out of that. Obviously, that's not good, because Liverpool fans, or at least a lot of Liverpool fans, probably want to sign Erling Haaland from Dortmund. I am one of them Liverpool fans. That just basically says he's going to stay. But at the end of the day, any CEO is going to come out and talk about what is the most prized possession of the club. You can talk about Jadon Sancho, but let's be real, mate. Haaland seems to be the real deal for Dortmund at the moment. He seems to be the one that they're hanging on to be the next big thing. And even Jadon Sancho can be that, but he's already linked with the club and stuff. And by the way, I've got some transfer news on Jadon Sancho in a second. But he's going to talk about all that. He's going to want to make him happy. He's going to want him to see the vision. He makes a good point that it is probably a little bit too soon to start linking him to all these big clubs. He wants to develop a little bit more. He's literally just left Salzburg. So I understand where he's coming from. If you ask me, I don't think this is going to happen. Not anytime soon. I don't think it'll probably ever happen. Just a prediction. But if I'm proven wrong, I'll be absolutely made up. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think we could see Haaland join Liverpool either this summer or possibly at some point during next season? Because let me tell you now, and let me tell you this for free, it will not happen this year. Next piece of transfer news, moving into Jadon Sancho. Big boy business. Man United obviously failed to sign him in the summer. That was one of the biggest things. But now there's reports linking him to Liverpool, and has done since that pretty much fell through and deadline day concluded. Now Liverpool are reportedly interested, like I've just said. Many reports are suggesting it, well, not many, but some, and that's just something I want to keep you updated with over the next few days, because there's nothing concrete right now, but I just thought there's breaths about it being mentioned. David Alaba, someone that I've ruled out, someone that has been relinked with Liverpool. It's a crazy one. I don't think we're going to sign David Alaba, but there is still reports linking us to him. There's been reports coming out that Bayern have set a price tag that if Alaba is not to stay, this is how much they want, and the price tag is set at £30 million. And you've got to understand that. Listen, mate, Alaba's been a loyal servant to them. He's done fantastic for them, and he would offer so much to any team in world football. Let's just not take that away. So I understand why they'd want at least a good chunk of money for him. I think you could try and get more. He's 28 years of age. You're still getting 3 or 4 great years out of Alaba, in my opinion. Would I take Alaba? Even though I don't think we'll get him. In fact, I'm very confident that we're not going to. I would love Alaba. People will say, but James, we've got left backs. He's not just a left back though. He's off the centre back cover, which we're struggling in, by the way. CDM, he can play in that role which Thiago was being out recently. Left back for if Robbo goes out, you've got a quality starting left back. What about Shimakash? We can still find something for Shimakash, but like I said, he's not just a left back. He can offer so much in other positions. I think he's versatile. And he's a winner. We need as many winners as you can get in your team, the better. And you just think he probably does have the attitude to settle in with some of these players. But yeah, that's all about the transfer news. That's it, rounds us up. So some juicy stuff there, but we're not done with the news completely. There's another former player that I want to talk about, and then I'm going to talk about the Premier League setting to scrap the pay-per-view, and then we're getting into your comments. So make sure you stick around for that. Anyway, Mamadou Sakho, yes, that guy, man like Mamadou Sakho, plays for Crystal Palace, French international. Obviously a top centre-back at Liverpool, debatable. Nah, listen, he had a great end. He had a pot. In fact, I actually really enjoyed Mamadou Sakho's end, and when he left, I was very confused. Obviously, reports recently have been coming out about his end of his career at Liverpool and about the fat burners. Now, if you don't know the story, Mamadou Sakho, he had a very average career at Liverpool. At the end, got a goal against Everton in a Merseyside derby, got a Europa League goal in that infamous 4-3 win against Dortmund, which was absolutely fantastic. But not only that, can you hear them fireworks, by the way? Fucking hell, mate. But not only that, helps us get to a Europa League final, and then UEFA come and ban him because apparently he had fat burners in his system. Now, it came out later on, a few weeks later and a few months later, that fat burners was not on the ban list, so basically he got banned for nothing, and it was just an ongoing investigation, and he did miss a Europa League final due to this. In fact, you could say it really affected us because we were 1-0 up in the Europa League final. We ended up conceding 3 goals in the Europa League final to Sevilla. We had to start Kolo Touré, so we did have a problem. And like I said before, what I was touching on, Mamadou Sakho actually touched some good form. He got a goal against Dortmund, got a goal against Everton, and then he got fucked, and then he had to move. Obviously, he had a little falling out with Klopp, which is the reason why I think he actually left. I actually don't think it was to do with the fat burners, but it didn't help. And like I say before, we could have had a Europa League, which at the time was huge for Liverpool Football Club. No one can deny that. It's easy to say now, oh, it's sweet that we haven't got the Europa League, but at the time, let's be real, people, that would have been massive. And then Premier League set to scrap pay-per-view. All I'm going to say on that is, boss, they need to. They should have never been a thing. Thank you very much. Let's get into your comments, because enough said, the better, because it's still not confirmed, but fair enough, do you know what I mean? Anyway, from Bobby on mobile, James, mate, would you play 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 against City on Sunday? And any news on Thiago? Now, 2-part question, so I've let you cheat there, Bobby on mobile, but I'm going to be doing the preview for City tomorrow, so I'm not going to give too much away. But let me just touch about the 4-2-3-1, because I don't want anyone to get confused. When I said, and this was before Sheffield and before West Ham, let's try the 4-2-3-1. I wanted us to try it, and then I saw us try it, and it was alright, but I'm not going to lie, people, I don't want to see the 4-2-3-1 no more, whether it's against City. I think 4-3-3 is our formation, it's what we are most fluid with, and that 4-2-3-1, it was just very slow. In fact, remember back in the day, it's kind of what we played under Roy Hodgson, and we'd always come into life in the game in the last 15 minutes, but it would never, but that would be the last 15 minutes, you need to be on it for 90. Same with the 4-2-3-1 even now, like it took us a while. We were terrible in the first half against Sheffield United, same with West Ham, we were very debatable. So I think we just need to stick what's working, don't fix what's broken, stick with the 4-3-3. And then Thiago, so I've just by the way gave away the formation to what I think will start tomorrow. And then any news on Thiago, no, people, this is one that Klopp is keeping close to his chest. I've want to report something, but there's been no reports, no articles, no nothing. So, yeah, sorry that I can't report anything right there. From Billy Horton 7, opinions on City, and this is just a very basic question that I thought, if there's any City fans or Liverpool fans watching, this is my perspective on City before I give you a real extended perspective tomorrow in the preview. I think City are a really good team, a fantastic team. In fact, on their day, probably the best team in the world. I have not changed that stance for a while, even with Liverpool winning everything that they've won. But they are not in good form right now. Their heads look kind of shot. They're getting good results. They're picking up more results, especially very recently. Can they beat us? Yes, they can. It's at the Etihad, of course it is. But my opinions on them is they're not the force that they always have been, but they are now picking up. I think there's worse times to play City. I thought the best time probably would have been the start of the season. But if you look at the fact that we've had injuries as well, it's probably now. But like I said, I'll give you a more extended answer in my preview tomorrow, so make sure you're there. Thank you for the question. And then the last question from Arjun, who's a big supporter of the channel. Thank you very much for your question, Arjun. Will you start to make merch now, clothing? I've thought about this before, and if it's something that you'd like to see and you'd like me to bring, then I definitely want to do it. Now, it wouldn't just happen overnight. It would take time because I wouldn't want to give you shit. But if you would like me to bring out a little, a few t-shirts or something like that, then just let me know, a few hats, you know what I mean? I'll fucking do that, lads, and I'll make them quality. Obviously, I won't want to fucking make you shit, so it will take a bit, but let me know if that's something that you want to see. I'd love to bring it. Anyway, yous, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching this episode of the Redmond Roundup. If you did enjoy, leave a like, leave a subscribe. And if you've heard banging all video, then blame fireworks, blame the 5th of November, blame Guy Fawkes. That's who you need to blame. Anyway, nice one for watching this video. I'll see you later. Peace out.